Hello. Hi,
Hi,
Vinay.
hi, hi, hi.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us for yet another Freewheeling Fridays with Java Capital. Uh, Today is going to be a shorter or a shortish kind of an episode for us, mainly because we don't have any surprise guests uh, to discuss any topic with them. But we do have an interesting topic for you guys today to go into. We waiting for Bhargavi to join us?
Yeah, I think she'll join in as it goes as we go along, Karthik.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
welcome to another Freewheeling Friday. I think, Karthik, I am excited because there's no guest today, so I can talk more. Okay, and
It's
express myself more. Maybe we can talk about a lot of things that goes on internally. And
yeah,
I think one of the things that we wanted to talk about was the pipeline. Maybe if Bhargavi comes, I can talk about it. Maybe we should talk about the pipeline. How has it been? Maybe we should throw out some percentages, if not the actual numbers. Even actual numbers is fine, frankly speaking, right? Maybe we should pull that out and keep it. We should say, how many, what's happening. That'll give an idea of what's our deal flow, and then we should also talk about life in general, right? Given COVID's happened, and we are all living in a COVID world. That's the thing. Well, great, yeah. Look forward. An exciting episode, I'm sure. Yeah.
great, great. In fact, it looks like I may have screwed up a little bit today because I haven't scheduled this event, so we did not put it on YouTube or made any announcement today, right? I'm still trying to figure out if this is live on YouTube or not. Hopefully, it should be.
Okay. Okay. As you figure that out, right? I think let's talk about. I just want to talk about what I'm reading. For example, I'm currently reading two books. I mean, I'm not inclined to finish. I'm just reading whenever I get time. Um, One of the books that I've been reading is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Interesting, just started reading, a couple of chapters. I would say interesting, not at thought provoking category. But the other book that I'm reading simultaneously is Factfulness. For some time I've been reading that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating thing about factfulness is, right. I mean, I did take the test, which is mentioned by Rosling, and I think I passed with decent flying colors. But it and self validation. But it's surprising, right? How all of us, believe, or the world believes, right? How how poor the world is. Frankly, that's the
Mm-hmm.
surprise, right? It's factfulness, right? Uh, what do you think is the percentage of poverty, extreme poverty in the world, Karthik? Just a rough thought.
In the world,
Yeah,
I'm thinking 25%.
yeah. I think extreme poverty is even less, and it's come down drastically, right?
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
extreme. Okay, I know that the poverty in US is 16%.
in US. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So in India, right? Rough numbers. Prior to COVID, we were 80 million, below poverty. Because of COVID, right? We've got 120 million people in poverty. I think
Correct.
what factfulness says, right? We can't remember a lot of information. So what we do is we assume, basis our impressions, right? If you ask any rich country citizen, right, what is India? You say India is a country filled with snakes, elephants, and poor people.
Mm-mm.
But I mean, look at us, right? Or I'm just saying, I'm not saying, but look at India as such, right? I mean, it's only 120 million people who are in poverty, and we have 1 billion people above poverty, middle class, a large middle class, and a 1% rich class, which is the credit user who still thinks he's middle class. Because all credit users still think they're middle class. That's what's happening. So fascinating stats, on the in the book, right? Like how our mind, is lulled into thinking, right? The world is a poor place. A lot of stats, don't match up to what we are thinking. For example, life expectancy of the world, what it could be like. It's like 70 years potentially now. And like how many people have access to electricity? The world thinks it's 20%, but in reality, it's like almost 80% of the people have access to electricity. I think so I think we tend to forget facts, typically because of our own upbringing and what's happening. So it's a fascinating book that I'm like not fully completed, but yeah, that's there. And we have Bhargavi also now. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing on factfulness, right? Even if somebody does not have time, what I say is just read the first 30 pages. That's enough.
Yeah, interesting. So anything that you are reading, Bhargavi, we were just discussing, books that I've been reading, and I mentioned two books that I'm like still going
No,
through.
I read a lot currently only primary school homework books and academics.
How are you faring, Bhargavi?
How's the interviews going,
I'm
Bhargavi?
learning a lot.
Okay, we're referring to, Bhargavi is doing
For example, I learned snakes are vertebrates only yesterday. I didn't know that. I thought they are invertebrates.
No, no, I actually do find it therapeutic sometimes, right? Just going back and reading those textbooks from your fifth class or sixth class. If you still have them, they're actually fun.
Yeah, Karthik, agree. I think what are you reading?
I am reading Influence. I am still stuck in the first chapter. This is by Robert Cialdini. You must have read it, Vinod. I'm sure you must have read that
No,
book.
I think no, I've not read Influence. Maybe
Okay.
wish list. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm taking it slow reading. I'm reading here, there. I'm reading a lot of online. But interesting thing I wanted to show you, guys. I started this habit tracker thing, and it's going pretty decently. I would say 10 days of progress, 5 habits that I'm tracking. I'm
Nice.
I'm bang on the one of the habits. The rest four, I'm like decent, but not great. But I'm like starting to do decent.
I think the biggest part is discipline, right? I mean, you got to train yourself to be disciplined
Yes. So,
every
so,
day.
so that's why I put a physical tracking sheet in front of me, and I color it every day at the end of the day, and I mark it down. So all those right helps, and then my daughter looks at it and prods me saying, "What's this? So much of red, right? Maybe." Then I think, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll do more. And she built her own tracker, looking at what I've been doing.
Right.
So all those things, right, seem to help, to at least, do some things. Frankly, I mean, so far 10 days, close to almost 8 days. I'm looking at the tracker and telling you guys. So
Yeah, I'm glad somebody's naming and shaming you, man.
yeah, so
But
that's
it's
happening.
good leading by example.
Yeah, leading by example. Somebody's learning. I think all of us, if there's something to try, I think you should try. I felt like, being lazy doesn't work. So doing some yoga, doing some meditation, reading a book is a part of the habit routine trying to form, walking for 10,000 steps, okay, 4 or 5 things, not a good stuff. So hoping, I'll continue that. Yeah, let's see. Maybe we'll talk about it every Friday or, the next month again and see, I'll show you my full chart, then it'll be complete by then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, quick announcement. So, if you guys are just joining us, feel free to put in your comments in the comment section, either on YouTube or on Periscope, and we'll get to it. If you would like to join us live right now on the conversation, also let us know. We can also make that happen. That'll You could be our surprise guest today because Bhargavi, failed to come up with a surprise. I'm gonna blame it on.
I am the surprise guest.
Yeah, she's the surprise guest. Yes. So then we have been plotting on how to put you on spot before you joined this session, Bhargavi. So brace for it.
Ready?
Yeah. So
Awesome, awesome.
yeah, so Bhargavi, I think today's focus is going to be on what now. COVID is like we stopped talking about COVID, right? World has stopped talking, little less, except for maybe Trump and people.
No, 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 not for me.
So we are saying today we're going to talk about life in COVID. How does a VC firm? What did we do? In COVID, like what did Java do in COVID, and how did we make decisions? Because we started in the middle of the pandemic, right? So we're going to talk about that. So
Nice, interesting.
yeah, so that's the topic. So maybe
We
I'll
are COVID's first VC.
Yeah, we are a COVID first VC, right? So actually,
The firm got launched in COVID, so
yeah. So it's interesting, right? So yesterday somebody was asking me in one of the panels in the event, right? So how did your decision making change between then and after COVID, right? I mean, I did give my answer. I would love to see. Did something change for you guys from then? Then COVID and then we started, right? Like COVID happened and we started. So anything changed dramatically, and how are we thinking? How are we making decisions that you sense?
I think it is more optimized now. Because earlier it used to be like, oh, how do I decide without meeting the team? And I know probably VCs used to move across cities also, right? Before a decision is made and all that. No, I think now you are forced to optimize your entire operations, and it works for me. I am very happy that I can continue to operate from home probably in the future as well.
I think that seems to be the real reason, actually.
uh, because now, see, nobody can, you guys cannot come and say that, oh, we need a office, we need the office setup, because we have been operating like this for 8 months. So why? I think, but anyway, see, reality is, I think, for all other firms also, decision making has become sort of optimized, or you have to operate in the constraints. So how are you going to tweak all your other processes around it, right? So I think that has become the norm as of now. For example, one of the accelerators, right, which I know, they used to call startups, and all of them used to come in a city. You book a five-star hotel and sit for a whole day and meet startups and take a decision. I don't see the quality has gone down, or the process quality, decision quality has gone down when we meet startups virtually. Personally, that's what I feel. Um, Probably our network, meeting new people, expanding the network, that has taken a hit definitely, because it's still little difficult to establish that connect when you are doing a Zoom call, doing your networking meeting, especially, right? I think that is definitely something which has taken a slight impact. And I would probably love to go out and start meeting people again. But apart from that, in terms of decision making, I don't see that this has impacted the virtual decision making has any impact in the quality.
Karthik, interesting Bhargavi's take, right? Like, what would be you thinking, right? Did you imagine we would be doing this, virtually, right? Like, hardly we've met. Maybe we both have met a couple of times. I have not met Bhargavi since
Since March.
March, or I don't know, even before March. I think maybe last I met her in Feb in person, right?
Yeah,
Literally
yeah.
not met. I mean, I didn't imagine it to be like that. I mean, find it actually slightly surreal. One of the things that I fundamentally believe in the serendipity, right? I mean, to meet random people and that results in a conversation. That's how I met Bhargavi. I mean, that's how I met a lot of people in a way, right? That's not happening. What I feel very constrained on that part. But what are you feeling? Is it like you're very happy? Yeah, no, you don't need to go to Starbucks. You won't get your Starbucks coffee easily. What are you feeling now? You're missing the Starbucks coffee and meeting founders in person.
So, I think, look, first of all, the productivity has gone up, man, significantly, right? And also, I'm able to get more things done, primarily because I don't have to spend at least 2 hours traveling in a day, right? And if I'm meeting somebody, then you can add another hour, hour and a half, depending on, where in the city that you're meeting that person, right? So this is all gain in time. So it is allowing me to do some other things as well. For me to read a book, which used to be very difficult unless because I used to drive around, right? I mean, I never take cabs. So I like to have that kind of independence. I used to drive around. So even while taking a cab or something, it becomes very difficult to read, right? So that is something that I'm able to do right now. I'm able to spend some time with my parents. Maybe sneak out for half an hour during the day. Sit with them, have lunch, So these are all like positives, that we didn't have before, right? I think I'm actually appreciating that part. But like both of you guys have mentioned, it's in the business that we are in, right? I think it's always important to meet people, talk to them, see them, see where they're coming from. I think that personal touch is definitely missing, and I do think that hopefully, if we are able to get this pandemic under control, we'll start doing it again. But
That
the
was my
things that
next question, Karthik. Frankly, I mean,
then, then
will we take an office post the pandemic settles down, and we'll not go to, you know,
I doubt it, Vinod. I mean, if you ask me, right, personally, I think we're a virtual VC, and I think we'll remain like that. Maybe we'll rent out a conference room in a WeWork or a co-work, once in a while. And Bhargavi will take us all out on a retreat. So those things are going to happen. But beyond that, I don't know. Why should we get an office, man? Physical office. I think that's backward thinking, if you ask me.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but at least I have a slightly opposite view. I think, maybe year down the line, I think, we'll have a office where I think, I just sense that, we can't keep doing this virtually all through. I mean, it looks nice and interesting. I just sense, at some point we'll say, look, let's have a regular office also. That's what I'm
Hmm.
thinking. And I'm not saying, we're making a decision or anything, but I sense, we'll come to a point where we'll think, yeah, let's have an office also.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the other part of,
So, Vinod, just one second, Vinod, for the people who are watching this right now, right? This is actually a very cordial sort of a discussion happening between us. Behind the scenes, it's very different.
yes, cordial. So let me highlight the other part of working at home, Karthik. So lucky you, right? You don't have to manage too many people. You have to manage only adults. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me and Bhargavi, have to manage more than adults at home, right? And at least, I sometimes feel, look, there's too many small things. Suddenly, somebody is just running into you. I mean, obviously, you'll give in to the emotion, but you'll be thinking, I mean, no, this is disturbing from a productive point of view, right? And then, this being always at home, right? It also means that other people expect you to do something at home, yeah, because you are at home.
Correct. You don't have any excuse anymore.
Yeah, you can excuse, you may have to lift a bucket and put it on the terrace, or you may have to put clothes into the washing machine. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying, you should not do this. I'm just saying, look, expectations are much higher because you're sitting at home and, they're assuming, oh, you're sitting at home, put a kaam kar do, yaar. You can't keep sitting at home all the time.
What's wrong in that?
No, there is no wrong. That's what I was trying to attempt. But I'm just saying that focus on doing work alone and, thinking work. It's like that's some kind of a me time, I feel, right? Like you're working
This
for
is the new normal.
yeah, I just want the new normal of going back, having some me time, networking, serendipity. I miss the drink in the evening. I mean, hardly, frankly, and I should not tell this to the Twitter god. I miss that. I can't do that much, and I miss food outside. I mean, I think I miss a lot, but I just don't put it out. I feel like, in a sense. So I think, I would be happy to just go out and start working in an office and meeting more people. Frankly speaking, that's the counter view. Yeah.
Good,
So,
good.
Karthik,
Bhargavi,
now we know who is going to manage the office.
exactly, right. We got our work cut out for us.
Hey, right next to my house, there is a setup that's set up by Good Work Labs. Don't worry, I'll get you the bargain.
We both know how to make you change your decision, right? If at all it's your decision.
Good.
Simple, we're gonna take an office space in Whitefield.
Whitefield is done. Nah, I'm not going to come 2 hours, right? So I'm not going to come to Whitefield. We might as
That's
well.
exactly Karthik's point, no?
Yeah. So let's come to decision now. Since we're talking about decision, right? How would you have made decisions physically sitting, Karthik? We've done this in the past, right? We've sat in the room, we made a decision. Virtually doing it, right? What goes on in the mind right now? We've done this, right? We've done. There are companies where we had references. There have been companies where we don't know the founder before, also, right? That's happened now. We've had multiple decisions. We've made investments. What is the difference, from a person whom you know is one level, like Bhargavi probably knows Paka Profiles founder. I knew Custom Fits founder. but we didn't know the next company's founder. Bhargavi, unannounced third company's founder in person, right? Bhargavi, did it change anything? You may be in a good position to answer that, right? Between Paka Profile and this unannounced company, uh, what's the thinking? Is it very different or like, no, yeah, chalo, let's make it?
See, even if we meet somebody, what are we going to do? We are going to sit across the table, ask questions.
Hmm.
That's what we are going to do, or
Making,
do a product demo.
you're making it sound so robo cold. I wish our founders think, we are very warm. We feed them. We give them snacks in the office. Oh, no. Okay.
There is testimony to that, right? Last week, I think one of our current startup founders told that this doesn't feel like an investor call where we were having a conversation. So you can bring that cordialness even in this, right? And we have proven that. We heard it from more than one founders already. But what I was trying to say is it's generally a conversation. And I don't think doing that conversation virtually changes the data points you would like to collect in the conversation. So as long as you collect the data points, you see the product, and we mostly tell our founders to keep their videos on. So you see the body language. You take those intangible or indirect cues as well during the conversation, right? So I think in those point of view, I'm only talking from a data gathering or information gathering point of view. This remote thing has not changed or impacted it. That's what I would like to summarize or tell it in short, right? Apart from that, giving snacks or warmth and all that, yes, I think we will do. We will probably give free office space to startups we would like to nurture for some time. All that we can do in the future. But from a pure decision point of view, I think it's fine.
Interesting. I think for me, right, that nostalgia comes from where I worked in the past, right? I think where we had a great office, great hospitality. I'm sure Karthik will agree. Where you felt like, as soon as you came, right, you felt kind of odd in some sense, frankly, right? So when I'm doing this virtually, right, it feels like you are at the other end, right? I mean, I don't know, Karthik agrees or not. He's smiling. Maybe I should put him on the spot. What do you think, Karthik? Would you agree? Virtually decision making, or doing it in person with your black coffee and all those stuff, the fancy office.
Something is happening, man. Okay. Not able to hear you, Vinod.
No, Karthik, I was asking.
Are you trying to? Okay, he's really not there, I think.
Okay, so no, Karthik, I was asking, right? Just like Bhargavi was telling, she's like super happy doing these decisions over a conference call or a Zoom call, right? I was telling, I still sense, maybe it's a baggage that I carry from the past, where there's an office, you had this nice, inspiring office, and people to get you whatever you need immediately, right? That some that kind of comes back when I'm sitting here, right? If I want coffee, I have to go fetch it. If I want a glass of water, I have to go fetch it. That I keep complaining to somebody at home, but I'm just saying, in a sense, right?
You are so spoiled, okay? It's like culture shock for you coming from like corporate and joining a startup. It's like that.
You gotta blame it on Kalari.
Yeah, Karthik, what's your decision making? How does it influence your decision making now? Like now that we're doing it virtually, are you like making better decisions, or its quality of decision making is going down, you think?
Yeah. So, Vinod, I think from a decision-making point of view, right? I don't think any VC would actually, do a decision during a conversation with the founder, right? Maybe not all the times. Sometimes, you speak to the founder and right off the bat that this is something that you need to do, right? But I think in most cases, at least with me, we will go back and do a little bit more work. Try to maybe do a couple of calls with their clients if need be, or do some research on your own, maybe a secondary research, or get an opinion from a subject matter expert, and so on and so forth. All of these things happen behind the scenes anyway, right? And these help in the decision making process. So from that point of view, I think that doesn't change. But like Bhargavi mentioned, right, one of the key things that we really care for when meeting people in person, right, is the body language, right? How much do they care about the idea that they are working on? All of these things, come through visual cues that we often miss if we are doing it on online, right? And especially when the founders turn out their videos, which is why, lucky for us, we don't have to ask founders to turn their videos on because you're always there, Vinod, and you. That's one of the things on Grumpy Vinod's list. Okay, founders, if you're pitching to us, please turn your videos on. But I do agree, man. I mean, I miss the office setting, those nice little conference rooms. There's a little bit of bonhomie that you get, if you're working in the office, right? The cigarette breaks if you will take, or the tea breaks that you will take. All of these help in bonding with your
Gossip.
colleagues a little bit, and that I definitely miss.
I mean, you're missing the gossip, right? Like gossip, right, is like one of my favorite topics, right? Gossip is also some level serendipity, right? Gossip, breeds bad culture also. That's like in excess, gossip. But in good amounts of gossip, right, is like builds culture. Keeps you ability to question your superiors. Also, builds trust within teams. If they have the ability to kind of gossip water cooler moment, and those serendipity conversations, right, are missed, right? If I had met somebody in person, like maybe Bhargavi, right, like I'll say, "Oh,
Correct,
this is
correct.
a great idea, Bhargavi, let's execute." Now, some idea would have come together, right, or like with.
Yes,
So now, right, the ideas have to happen, in isolation. Then that has to be communicated over a Notion doc. Then you have to convince also because you have to buy in, right? So it's much
It
more.
takes longer, of course, yeah.
It
So
takes longer, so a lot more effort. Those are that's not necessarily just for an idea. It's the same thing.
I think one thing that we really miss, right, is events and the networking that comes after that, right? That is a big, huge miss. I know there are some software solutions which are trying to address that, but it's not the same.
it's
It's not the
definitely not the same.
No, it's not working, Karthik. I'll give you an example, right? For example, see, the people used to, when we had physical events, right? People used to say, you're going there for snacks and beer or whatever. Right? It used to be there. But when I look back, right, that was a nice joke to say, but the option to meet everybody in one place, even for a short period of time, right, was tremendous value. Now, if I have to do that, right, I could do an event in like 1.5 hours and meet like 50 people in the ecosystem. Now, to meet 50 people, I have to do 50 half-an-hour calls.
correct.
That's like not scalable at all, right? I can't keep in touch with them, frankly speaking, right?
That's true, yeah.
So I'm like literally trying to do that. Who should I talk now? Maybe I should just say hi to someone. So that's becoming a lot more, I would say, complicated to keep in touch with so many of your people. Otherwise, you will just say hi and then call if you had something more interesting. I think that's something that's missed again, because of the current situation. Yeah, yeah,
Good. I think it is the right time to stop this here.
yeah.
Um,
Sham is
Sham has a comment, right? The engagements online tend to be more formal,
uh,
short and to the point. You're right, Sham. Yeah. So that relationship building where it's that small talk does not happen much online, other unless you plan for it. So I agree with you, Sham. Especially there are some people like Karthik who don't develop a small talk that easily.
nice pot shot. Yeah, yeah. I think
What?
uh, I think Sham is right. Right, culture, free flow ideas, this serendipity, gossip, all of which kind of are thrown out of the window. With we don't know what is the culture of Java, for example, fully, right? But we know from our behavior, but we don't know what it is like if you put together in a codified form or something. Right? It's over Zoom calls, right? How can a culture be built on online Zoom calls, right? Maybe behaviors are built. That's part of a culture, but a lot more can't be really attributed. I feel that's much more difficult. Like uh, anyway, it's an interesting thing. Hopefully, we get over it. And thanks, Sham, for adding
Thank
those.
you, Sham. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
It was a very good surprise comments from you.
Yeah, and I think I am surprised that we've built some great relationships actually, even in the middle of pandemic. Be it Sham or so many other people who are just like a WhatsApp or a Slack message away, right? Like I'm like surprised. I was surprised. I actually had attributed that surprise to something else earlier. I don't know. Maybe you guys can give me a better answer. Surprise of people's engagement, right, to talk, right, is the other way around. Is people are willing to talk because they have more time. Like Karthik was saying, I have more time, I could spend with my parents. Similarly, others have time to talk to every other person if you ask for it. Now that's one big advantage that I've seen, in our ability to pull in more investors into our syndicate or network. That's what I.
And also geographical boundaries is sort of thinned, right? It's because I don't know how forthcoming I would be to go and do a chat with somebody living in the UK or in the US that easily, right? Today we are doing it because there is no other choice. If I'm doing the same thing with somebody living in Bangalore, then what stops me to do the same thing with somebody in the UK or in Singapore? So I think that way that outlook has changed.
Yeah, yeah. I think on that investor note, Nakat, since I was on the investor note, right? If somebody wants to, talk to us, just go to our website. We've created a new investors page. You could put a request there, and we would be happy to, get on a call with you and understand more. and I think also thanks Sham, and the next angel investor course is also coming up. Karthik is showing us, if you want to be a part of our investing ecosystem, you want to work with Java, fill up. We will get back to you. One of us will get back to you with a call, and look forward to having some of you invest with us. And that's on investing with us. And yeah, we have our next angel investing course scheduled to start from November 21st. We've already
After Diwali.
after Diwali. Yeah, I think everybody, let's enjoy the Diwali, and we are going to look at more angel investor course. And I think that's one of the great things. Sham's mentioning. It's been a great confidence builder in the relationship. Surprised, in some sense when we started. I think the outcome of the angel investing course has surprised all of us completely. Extremely, thankful for whoever has joined our course and then also become investors. We're also happy that we have probably created close to a dozen plus angel investors, informed, educated angel investors in the process as a part of this. Right, that's like not just for us and more. Thanks, Sam, again, for showing that confidence in our first cohort and being a part of Java Capital. Angel Investor Course. Click on Angel Investor Course. You want to work and invest with us? Click on Invest. And here's a good friend of all of us of Java actually saying, how is the deal flow now in India at the angel stage? Sai, the deal flow is like, if you ask me, frankly, the deal flow is crazy. If you ask me, there is. I'm actually going to do a session on insights from our pipeline. Maybe I'll just throw in some nuggets, if not all of it, in this session. Um, we're doing like we've since May we've looked at 500 deals. Sai, obviously how this thing works, right? We've been with us. That means to say, look, like the first 60-70%, or we're just checking it out and saying and then getting on calls with a few of them, and then getting into transactions with them. Our conversions. I think maybe Bhargavi remembers some of these numbers. Maybe Bhargavi, you should pull up.
Yeah, in terms of deep flow to meetings, I think it's been 1/10 of the companies, right? So, out of 500 companies that have showed interest for us to evaluate, we would have met or spoken to between 50 to 60 companies. And yeah, so and again, the conversion from that to term sheet is 1/10, right? So it's 1 in 100 is the current term sheet to deal flow equation. It's looking like as of now. Yeah, so which means that We are in the process of closing investments in three more companies. Two announcements have come, and three investments are in advanced stages of closing.
Chai, thanks, man. That's our deal flow. Good that you brought the question. We were going to put a deep dive on that sometime, but that's like our initial numbers, literally,
Yeah, yeah.
and free flowing. So we were exhausted the free trial of streak with 500 transactions.
Thanks, I.
Yeah. So since this conversation has come up now, right, Bhargavi? So let's maybe dive into that pipeline question itself, right? So 500 companies, you're saying 60 companies we've had multiple conversations, or an investment IC conversation where all three of us have been there. That's what when we meet.
Correct.
How many of this has been cold? Do you think, Bhargavi, based on your assessment? Cold emailing, the 60, right? How many of them have been cold? Or even
Yeah,
500, roughly?
which is direct and without a banker.
Yeah, without a banker, nobody referred to us. I'm just saying, look, we are open to people writing to us directly.
So, around 160 companies have come to us. Sorry, more than that. LinkedIn, I meant to add. So, 200 companies. So, it's a very good 50%, 40% number, right? 40% is cold, direct.
Wow, that's a lot. So that comes to and how many of these have we met with? Any? Can we do that,
Yes,
Bhargavi?
yes, yes, yes.
It's interesting, right, Karthik? See, cold, right? I keep telling people, right? Look, there is nothing stopping any founder who wants to get an investment, right?
Yeah,
You can write to us. I've been telling this for all along. We are open to looking at all the email that comes to us at hello@javacapital.com, or through LinkedIn, or through Twitter DMs, anywhere, right? Like, I think that's one of the things that at least I've promised myself, and as a team also, right? We will look at every email that comes to us, and frankly speaking, right, we are wanting to say clearly, right? Look, access should not be restricted by who you know, or what you know, or who you know in the ecosystem, right? So our email is sufficient for you to come and talk to us, and we are in conversation at very close to a stage of a term sheet stage for one of the cold emails.
Correct. Yes,
Potentially could be our first investment, which has happened through cold emails. That's something
correct.
we want to keep measuring. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But to answer Karthik's question, so around 8% of the companies we have spoken to, all the three of us, right,
wow,
partners, which is not bad, right? It's not very far from the earlier 10% number which I told for the overall average, right? So
correct.
it's the average does not change a lot, irrespective of what the source is, whether we got it through a warm connect, or somebody pinged us on Twitter or LinkedIn, or just dropped an email.
Yeah, Sai, the answer to yours is what I just mentioned, right? We are like in the process of investing in a company which came through the cold email process. That's like currently in progress. And if we look at the numbers from our investment rate to our lead rate, right? 500 companies, we are potentially looking at currently investing in in various stages, right?
Fine.
To put together about 5 companies. That's like 1 in 100 is what we are looking to invest actually. Yeah. I mean, because it looks easy from the other side. I also want to tell, right? It looks easy from the founder side. Why is somebody taking so much time to get back to me?
Yeah.
Like today, I
But
had a
also, right, the amount of time that we take to get back is one thing that we're actually actively working on trying to reduce, right? I think we're trying to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of, how soon can we get back. But, there are a bunch of other things that go on behind the scenes that founders don't always see, right? Especially in a smaller firm, when you have to wear different hats. It's very much like a startup, right, where the founders are doing a bunch of different things, right? Maybe you're also cleaning your bathroom at the same time as you are pitching to somebody, right? So it may not be as onerous for the investors in a small fund, but nonetheless, it takes a lot of gray matter to think through, a lot of brain power that consumes. There's a bunch of different things that you have to especially when you're interacting with the founders. You offer a term sheet, which we are going through right now. You negotiate it, go back and forth, all of these things, uh, put an undue amount of demand on your time, which we don't necessarily, obviously, this is not the glamorous side of the VC
Yes.
industry,
Yeah.
right?
And the other thing is, for example, one of the initiatives we are working on now, right, where we are sort of going to offer a portfolio investment. Probably, I don't want to talk a lot on that, but we had to meet around 30 companies for that,
Yeah.
right? Which is not counted in any of these statistics.
Mhm.
It's apart from that. So it was meeting 30 companies in a matter of 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. It's not a easy job. So because we had to spend close to 5 hours per day for 2 days on meetings after meetings, right? So we couldn't, of course, get into the evaluations on those 2 days. So things like this also comes up. But I think we have improved, right? I think if I have to look at very, very broad statistics, we used to take close to 45 days to 50 days to get back to somebody. I think that number has come down to 20 days to 25 days now. So we have already improved it by
100%.
100%, or
100%. Yeah.
yeah, so we have improved by 100%. I personally would like to go to a scenario where something like having a superhuman email client and responding in a matter of hours. But I think even if we don't do that, I think we should probably very quickly be able to get down to a number of around a week, 10 days, which I think is not bad in the industry.
Yeah. So anecdotal, right, Bhargavi? Today somebody emailed and asked me, I've sent the company, have you looked? I replied by saying, it'll take 10 to 14 days, right? And imagine what's the reply I got? Thanks for getting back. Are we a special case? It's going to take 10 to 14 days.
Wow.
So I don't know, is it special case because they think, it's higher number of days, or it's a special case because, we're saying,
It's a lower number.
I think, it's a former, largely. And I said, a pipeline timeline with a smiley, that's all I could do, right? Like, so I think what happens in the background, I think people should also understand so that, the expectations are real. Because we are looking at cold emails, unlike most VCs, we're not just doing referenced conversations alone. We are sourcing ourselves. We are looking at cold emails. So that's going to take a little longer. So bear with us, stay with us, and we will get back to you. But surely,
Great. Great. Thanks again, Sai and Sham, for watching, joining, and chipping in with your questions, comments. Really appreciate that. So, do we move to what caught your eye?
yeah. You already done that now by saying that. So yeah, I think what caught my eye is fish and chicken this week. So yeah, I know fish and chicken caught my eye. Fresh to home, getting funded $120 million in a Series C was like a mammoth number. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so because I never expected that this company will become this large. Frankly,
Hmm.
hindsight here, bias, right? Like when they were initially delivering, I thought, okay, this is some small firm. Later, the more I dug, right, I realized this is the next Zynga person. There's like VC funding behind this company also. Maybe I missed it, right? Like I was looking at Licious as the big fish, but the point is, Licious is like your what do you call the premium one, and Fresh to Home is like your proper middle class aspirational in some sense. Again, That's where I missed out the looking at at it
So
more.
Licious is your Spencer's to your
Correct. Yeah.
D-Mart
Yeah, yeah.
in
Delicious is more like, yeah, exactly, like food hall types, and fresh to home is more like your big bazaar kind of positioning, frankly. And I think they've done really well. Looks like the volumes would be like crazy than compared to other guys. Is my sense of it. So I think that caught my eye, and good. In the pandemic, right? People are ordering everything online, right? They're afraid of going to their local meat shop, because people know how the local meat shop is. I know you guys won't know, but I at least know. It's not a great place to go to a meat shop. You'd like cringe, but you just have no choice. But now the choices are kind of available. So my lifetime value with Licious, right, will be more than what I've earned through Java Capital, by the way. For some statistic, yeah. Uh,
Careful, Vinod, don't let out all the financial data, okay?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, that's LTV for Licious in the pandemic has been higher than that, frankly, from my end. That's caught my eye, yeah.
Got
Great.
it.
What about you, Karthik?
Oh, you're putting me on spot. Oh God. Okay. Uh, so me, I think Bhargavi, there are a couple of things that actually caught my eye this week. Right. Nothing to do with funding statistics, to be honest with you. But one statistic that really caught my eye was 16.4 gigabytes per month. That's how much an average Indian is consuming, right, in data every month, which is tremendous, right? Because in 2019, I think there
Yes,
was a report
yes.
that came out that said that India, on average, is consuming about 12.4 gigabits or something to that effect, right? And they predicted that by 2025, it could go as high as 25 gigabits. Looks like COVID has tremendously accelerated the pace. So that caught my eye. And I think this is something that is going to stay, right? Because what is interesting is for a large majority of Indian households, the only source of internet that is coming to them is through their smartphones, right? Through their Android phones, and the only 4% of Indian households apparently had a broadband connection, which is shocking when you think about it, right? We still have
Yes.
a long way to go. So it's tremendously important that these wireless providers, succeed in our economy at any cost. It's a necessity now for these guys to succeed. Um, so I was also looking at Airtel's quarterly report, and finally, they're it looks like they're turning a page thanks to this data consumption. They've reduced their losses tremendously in the past quarter. The second thing that caught my eye was Apple in India, right? This is the first quarter after Apple started their online store, and it looks like they've sold about 8 million units, which is huge, right? In India, to sell 8 million premium phones coming from Apple, on average, costing about 30,000 rupees. That's a tremendous increase of sales for them.
It's not average 30,000. It is lowest point is 30,000. Average
Lowest
might
point
be little.
could be a little bit higher, right? Yeah, you're right. I think the iPhone SE is about 30,000 rupees.
Yeah.
The average
30,
maybe.
35,000. Yes, yes.
I think actually Tim Cook mentioned on the earnings call that that's a record quarter for them in India. The,
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. In fact, it looks like last year they had sales of about $1 billion coming out of India, right? In this quarter
Mm.
alone, I just did a back of envelope thing, and it looks like that they have surpassed this in just this quarter, whatever that they've done in the entire of last year. And we're gonna see we haven't even seen the effect of the iPhone 12 release yet, right? So this is going to be a bumper year for Apple. So this is good, and I think this is also sort of an issue for premium Android phones, right? Like OnePlus and others. So we'll have to see how this is going to pan out. And with Apple, setting up more manufacturing in India through their contract manufacturers, I think we're going to see this is a good trend for Apple in India. So those are the two things that broadly caught my eye.
awesome. Bhargavi.
For me, it is PNG announced a 400 crore fund in India. The details are not still very clear. They are telling it's also going to have some partnerships, and uh, they are also going to look at SMBs, so more aligned with Atmanirbhar of the Indian government, right? But it's more about these corporates which were sort of sitting on a pedestal, right? We all know they have been doing this one-off deals, but making it more organized, I think it is good for the Indian brands and Indian consumer product space as such. And also, if they are looking at SMBs, then people who do contract manufacturing, it's good for the industry. So that is one industry which I'm always interested in. So somebody like PNG coming and saying that they are allocating a 400 crore fund is a very interesting turn.
That reminds me, Bhargavi, we should do something more there. In the 500 deals, we've still not found the one.
We are. I'm
There
just
is
a
one
step
coming
away
up
from
next week.
convincing you guys. So yeah.
There is one coming up from
Oh,
next week.
yeah, yeah, I'm putting pressure on Bhargavi. 500 में एक भी नहीं आया PG के लिए. So,
Yeah, one is in the works, getting ready.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, great. That's the thing, Karthik. I think it's a good time to wrap. Maybe
Yeah, I think look at this has been truly freewheeling, right? I mean, there is no preparation that is going into this whole session, anytime this week. But it's always good because sometimes when we have these freewheelings, the truth comes out. There is nothing that you can do to stop it. So you gotta be careful,
Like
man.
getting to know that Vinod wants the office, so that we both can plot where the office can be.
Exactly, right?
yeah, yeah. You can say whatever. Yeah.
So, one quickly before we go out, right? Whoever is watching us right now, we're starting the Angel Investor course again next month, November 21st is the date, right? So do check it out. It's after Diwali, so it's good to work out all your calories with some expending some brain energy, right? Nothing burns energy like using your brain. So there, join that. It'll be fun. um, at the very least, but could also be very, very useful for you if you're thinking about investing in startups. And is there a second announcement, Vinod?
No, Bhargavi will make it next week.
Yeah, okay. So we have
You
an
don't
announcement,
know.
hopefully,
I think it
hopefully.
will take 2 weeks.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's the current
So,
estimate.
so
Yeah.
just to give you a little bit of a hint, right? We made an investment. It's a co-investment with another investor in a company. We just wired the money, so we are eager to make the announcement. We're just waiting for coordinating times with the founder to make that
Yeah, it's a
announcement. So,
very
but
interesting company, very good founders. I think we all are excited about the company. I am personally very excited about the space
Hey,
as usual.
I'm assuming Sequoia is watching this now. Thanks, Bhargavi, for the pitch. Yeah.
right, right. And finally, guys, if you want to invest in startups, right, do check out our website. Join us, join our syndicate. We always try to bring interesting opportunities for you to look at and invest in. Like Bhargavi just mentioned, some kick-ass founders that you wouldn't want to miss. So do check it out. Just go to javacapital.co. And until next week, stay safe. We will see you again next week, same time.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye bye. See you in the other week in the new office, Karthik and Bhargavi.
Yeah.
Bye.